Alright, recruit. It's time for another experiment in civil disobedience. Now, this is actually my third time out since this edict was implemented. The first time was at a Lowe's, and I had no idea that somebody had done this, and so I did not record it. This time I'm heading into Walmart to pick up something, and we'll see how this one goes. In Lowe's, I was able to go in and do my thing without being forced to wear a mask or being harassed. So I'm expecting it to be pretty much the same thing. And you know what? It doesn't hurt to have too much data. So, all right, let's see how this goes.
Welcome back, recruit, to another Rebel Rant. This one is a follow-up for experimenting in civil disobedience. And yeah, so it's been very, very interesting. Today, I went out to Walmart to pick up something. And this is actually my third time being out since this mask edict was put into play in my area. And the first time I had gone to Lowe's to pick up just a extension cord, I had no idea the edict was in place. I went to walk into the store and this guy was standing there with a box of masks, and he tried to give me one, and I told him I wasn't going to wear one. And then he proceeded to point to this sign that said, "Oh, everybody is required to wear a mask upon entry." And I kind of got into it with him a little bit because I was like, "No, it's not happening, man. Sorry." I when I say I will not comply, that is not just me blowing smoke up your skirt, so to speak. I mean it. I am serious. I will not comply. So that was a bit of a shock right there. And and then come to find out, so he's sitting there telling me, "You are required to wear a mask." And then
pretty much everybody's wearing masks.
I asked him, I was like, "So are you telling me I'm not allowed to enter the store?" He's like, "Oh no, I'm not going to stop you from entering the store. You're required to wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, I'm not going to stop you." It's just like, I'm not sure some people understand the meaning of the word required.
Being the only one not wearing a mask does make me feel a bit vulnerable.
So I ended up going into Lowe's to do my business. Then I had one guy who actually came up to me. He's wearing a mask, and he wasn't terribly happy about the whole thing either. He said that he worked in a medical office. I think he was connected to like 2 or 3 of them. And he told me that they were not, when this edict first came out, they were not telling their patients and clients and whatnot, they were not telling them that they had to wear the mask. They told them that it was up to them. Somebody ratted them out. They called the police. The police showed up and informed them that they had to tell people that they were required to wear a mask. And it was mind-blowing. It was absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, we're talking about some Nazi level. This is a Nazi level environment that we are currently in. And I'm not being facetious. I am not exaggerating. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm just stating facts as I see them. So this is a pretty serious situation. And that startled me when he told me that. And he agreed that it was all a load of malarkey. But the offices that he was part of, they clearly did not want to fight the legal battle. That part was disheartening, even though he clearly did not agree with the policy and everything, with the edict. But, people have to be willing to fight. So today I went to Walmart, and after the last 2 experiences, I was feeling better about what to expect. I was still a bit on the nervous side because you just never know.
Looking for an expensive phone that goes with this plan. It looked like there was something down there for like 20, but I don't know if that's
Yeah, the flip phone.
Yeah, do you got any of those?
Let me see if I have any more.
That'd be awesome, dude.
But it pretty much went as expected. I walked into the store. Everybody was wearing a mask. There was a sign that did mention something about wearing masks. It wasn't very in depth. I just barely even mentioned it, really. But literally everybody that I saw in the store was wearing a mask. There were a couple of people that had the mask either under their nose or under their chin, but they still had the mask. And from what I saw, I was the only person not wearing a mask. And once again, nobody said the word to me. Now, when I walked in the door, the greeter did say something, but I'm not actually sure what they said. And I decided not to acknowledge them at all, just to see what they would do. I walked past them, and without a mask, into the store. They didn't say another word. I'm not even 100% sure they were even talking to me.
Do you need a protection plan for that at all?
No, it's cheap enough. I'm not too worried about it. Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
But they did not say another word. They did not follow me. They did not call out to me. And that was, as far as that went, that was the end of that. I went into the electronics area. The guy that was working the area happened to walk past me.
Okay, 64, 62.
If I get cash back, does that come out of my account, or does that come out of, if I get cash back, does that come out of my account, or does that come out of somebody else's account?
Your account.
Never mind then. Yeah, I'm good.
What's that? You want to grab some wrap for those? Alright, no problem.
That was a joke. Bad joke. Sorry.
Sorry. Is that a good case? I always see that case online.
It's done a good job.
Like the lightning bolt or something? Has a lightning bolt on it or something like that?
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
I know what it is because I've seen that design.
No, yeah, I mean this one's old. I've had it
Is it a good case still?
I've had it for like 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
So yeah, it's lasted.
Yeah.
It's starting to fall apart, but the fact that it's lasted so long is kind of surprising.
I always see it. Like when I look up cases, I always see that case.
Yeah, and this thing is a freaking. It's awesome, dude.
It's good.
It is flimsy, so you gotta be careful with it. As long as you're careful with it, like I said, I've had it for like 4 or 5 years. Okay. It's great for watching stuff. Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like that convenience. You can put it there and you watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
YouTube video or whatever, you know.
Yeah, man. When I don't have the case on and I'm trying to watch stuff, I was like,
yeah. I forgot the name, but it has a lightning bolt or something.
Yes. Yeah. I remember the lightning bolt.
Yeah. Okay.
That's definitely it. All right, man. I appreciate it.
I just wanted to see if they were any good.
I would definitely say it's worth it.
Okay.
Yeah, man. All right, take it easy.
Or walked past the aisle I was in, and he looked at me. I could tell he seemed a little surprised, and I wasn't sure how he was going to react because I was clearly one of the few people to not be wearing a mask. And so I'm sure I wasn't the only one, but it seemed to be a pretty uncommon occurrence for him to really take notice.
Already paid for it.
But he didn't say anything. He said absolutely nothing about me not wearing a mask. So I got his attention. I was like, "Hey, what's up? Can you help me out?" He did his job. He helped me out. He helped me find what I was looking for. And at the register, he finally started to get really chatty with me, in a really friendly manner. And I was a little surprised at that. Usually, especially in places like Walmart, I don't know, usually the workers they just want to get the job done, whatever. Most of the chit-chat revolves around upselling and stuff like that. But he actually engaged me in conversation. And I was a little surprised. But I was also heartened by it. It was a good thing. It showed that, on some level, he probably didn't like the edict. He probably didn't agree with it. And I kind of get the sense that the fact that I walked in there without a mask may have actually emboldened him to some extent, at least. And that's not because of anything I personally do. It's just... Alright, so based on my previous 2 outings, this pretty much went as expected. Literally everybody was wearing a mask. 2 people had the masks below their nose or chin, and nobody said a word to me. Nobody bothered me. So this has been a pretty successful experiment in civil disobedience, and I have more to say here shortly. Rebel Squadron will return. It's not because of me. It's not because I'm anything special. It's just the fact that he saw somebody else not wearing a mask confidently and in full display of civil disobedience. And whether or not he even knows the term civil disobedience, I don't know. You would not believe how badly our history has been erased over the last 10, 20, 30 years in the public education system. I took a U.S. history class for my degree within the last decade, and between the Revolutionary War and World War II, it's been a while and I don't have access to my textbooks right now, but one of them was completely glossed over and the other one was, if I remember correctly, just completely ignored between the two. And that is completely unacceptable. Our children, our younger generations, they are not being taught what they need to be taught, especially about civic duty, about our government, our country, our rights and liberties. They're not being taught what they need to be taught. And this is how we've gotten to this point, at least in part. There are a lot of variables at play here, but that is definitely one that has having a clear and direct impact on what's going on today. So it's been an incredible experience. I'm going to do my best not to have to go anywhere anytime soon. If I do, I will record it, but hopefully watching this video, it'll embolden you to engage in civil disobedience. These masks are a farce. They do not protect people, and the way this whole thing is being handled is just wrong on every level. So hopefully this hopefully this gives you a bit of hope regarding this current situation. And it seems pretty clear that people in general are not on board with what's being done. So thank you for watching this video. Be safe out there. And, it's time to embrace that civil disobedience. I'll see you in the cantina, recruit. This is Rebel Squadron out.